Hi United fans, this update BWE are talking about potential homecomings, exciting young talents, midfield reinforcements, attacking additions, and one huge Marcus Rashford situation that is rapidly approaching a crucial deadline. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments because your opinions matter, and there are some big questions for the United faithful today. According to reports coming out of Italy, Manchester United continue to monitor the situation of former academy graduate Scott McTominay. Yes, you heard that right. The Scottish international, who came through the ranks at Carrington and always gave everything for the badge, is reportedly being watched closely by United officials. Many supporters still believe his departure was one of the biggest mistakes made by the previous football structure at Old Trafford. While some questioned his technical ability during his time at United, what nobody could ever question was his commitment, passion, leadership, and willingness to fight for the shirt every single week. Since leaving Manchester, McTominay has continued to develop his game and prove that he can be a valuable asset at the highest level. The possibility of bringing him back to Old Trafford is certainly an interesting one. Let that sink in. A player many wrote off could potentially return stronger, more mature, and more complete than ever before. The big question for United fans is simple. Should Manchester United attempt to bring Scott McTominay back home, or should the club focus entirely on younger midfield targets? Personally, there is something special about academy graduates who understand exactly what Manchester United means. They understand the standards, they understand the pressure, and they understand the expectations of the Stretford end. Meanwhile, another fascinating report suggests Manchester United have made contact regarding Newcastle United fullback Lewis Hall. This is a player who has enjoyed a tremendous rise over the last few seasons, and many football experts believe he has all the tools to become one of England's finest full-backs. Hall possesses excellent technical ability, impressive energy levels, and the versatility that modern football demands. Under Michael Carrick, players who are comfortable in possession and capable of progressing the ball quickly become extremely valuable. Lewis Hall fits that profile perfectly. The thought of adding one of England's brightest defensive talents to an already exciting squad is certainly an attractive prospect. However, Newcastle are unlikely to make any negotiations straightforward. Do you think Lewis Hall would improve Manchester United's defensive options? Could he become a long-term solution at Old Trafford? The midfield department continues to dominate transfer discussions, and one name that refuses to disappear is Carlos Baleba. Reports indicate the talented midfielder remains firmly on Manchester United's shortlist this summer. Baleba is viewed by many scouts as one of the most exciting young midfielders in European football. His physical presence, ability to recover possession, and willingness to drive forward with the ball have attracted admiration from several top clubs. United's recruitment team appears determined to add athleticism, energy, and dynamism to the centre of the park, and Baleba certainly ticks those boxes. Make no mistake, this is huge. Modern football is increasingly won in midfield battles, and adding young, hungry players capable of dominating those contests could transform United's competitiveness. Can you imagine Baleba controlling the midfield under the lights at Old Trafford with the crowd roaring behind him? Perhaps one of the most eye-catching reports involves Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers. According to reports, Manchester United have already reached a verbal agreement with the player regarding a potential summer transfer. If true, this would represent a major statement of intent from the club. Rogers has been one of the standout attacking players in English football, combining strength, pace, creativity, and directness in a way that terrifies defenders. The reported £45 million bid would be a significant investment, but many supporters will argue that elite talent demands elite investment. Rogers possesses the profile that many United fans love: young, fearless, technically gifted, and capable of producing moments of magic. Imagine Morgan Rogers driving towards defenders in front of the Stretford end while the Old Trafford crowd rises to its feet in anticipation. That is exactly the type of excitement supporters want to see. Would you approve a £45 million move for Rogers? Is he the type of player capable of becoming a future Old Trafford superstar? Another player continuing to attract attention is Nico Williams. Manchester United reportedly remain admirers of the Spanish international, although they are currently unwilling to activate his enormous €100 million release clause. This is understandable. While Williams is undoubtedly a top-class talent with electrifying pace and outstanding dribbling ability, United must remain financially disciplined. Ineos appear determined to strengthen several positions rather than spending the majority of the budget on a single signing. Williams would undoubtedly improve almost any team in world football, but the reality of modern squad building means difficult decisions must be made. Arsenal and Liverpool are also monitoring the situation, which highlights just how highly regarded the player is across Europe. The question for supporters is straightforward. Would you spend €100 million on Nico Williams, or would you prefer that money be spread across multiple positions? Moving into the attacking department, Manchester United have reportedly expressed formal interest in Lille forward Matías Fernández-Pardo. The Belgian youngster enjoyed a breakthrough campaign and has rapidly established himself as one of League One's most exciting emerging talents. 8 goals and 5 assists may not immediately grab headlines, but context is everything. At just 21 years of age, his development trajectory is extremely impressive. United are reportedly conducting extensive background checks, demonstrating a more careful recruitment process than in previous years. This is exactly what supporters have been demanding. Rather than chasing big names for the sake of headlines, the club appears focused on identifying players before they become global superstars. Fernández-Pardo could represent one of those smart acquisitions that pay enormous dividends in the future. Could he be the next hidden gem ready to explode onto the Premier League stage? Not every transfer story develops positively, however. Reports indicate that Manchester United were interested in Elliot Anderson, but have now cooled their pursuit. The club's position is reportedly clear. They want players who are fully committed to joining Manchester United and have no desire to become involved in lengthy bidding wars. In many ways, this represents a refreshing change. For years, supporters complained that United often overpaid for players or entered transfer sagas that dragged on endlessly. The current strategy appears far more decisive. If a player truly wants to wear the famous red shirt, negotiations move forward. If not, the club moves on to alternative targets. That approach could save both time and money during a critical summer window. Do you agree with this strategy? Should Manchester United immediately walk away from deals where commitment appears uncertain? Finally, we come to the Marcus Rashford situation, which is rapidly approaching a decisive moment. According to reports, Manchester United are waiting to discover whether Barcelona will trigger the £26 million clause required to make Rashford's move permanent. The Catalan giants reportedly have just 5 days remaining to activate that option. This is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating stories of the summer. Rashford remains a player with immense talent and incredible potential. Every United supporter knows what he is capable of when he is playing with confidence and freedom. Yet football moves quickly, and both player and club may now find themselves approaching a crossroads. If Barcelona decide against activating the clause, Rashford could find himself returning to Carrington with major questions surrounding his future. Unbelievable, but true. Few could have predicted this scenario just a couple of years ago when he was one of the biggest stars at the club. Should Manchester United give Rashford another opportunity if Barcelona walk away, or would a permanent transfer be best for all parties involved? Overall, this summer transfer window is beginning to feel absolutely massive for Manchester United. The links to McTominay, Lewis Hall, Carlos Baleba, Morgan Rogers, Nico Williams, and Matias Fernandez-Pardo suggest a clear focus on energy, youth, technical quality, and long-term development. Meanwhile, the Rashford saga continues to dominate headlines as supporters wait for Barcelona's final decision. One thing is certain, the coming weeks could shape Manchester United's future for years to come. United fans, which signing would excite you the most? Would you welcome Scott McTominay back to Old Trafford? Is Morgan Rogers worth the reported fee? Should United pursue Nico Williams despite the enormous cost? And what should happen with Marcus Rashford if Barcelona do not trigger the clause? Get involved in the discussion and let your voice be heard, because this summer could change everything.